Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 2022 Kia Sorento. This is the SX model, but it's the PHEV. And there's quite a few differences between the PHEV model and the gas model, separate from the idea that this is a PHEV and it has a different powertrain. So we're going to go over some of the differences here so you know what you're getting, you know what you're not getting. And if that's better or worse for you, you'll be able to check it out for yourself. Yesterday, we took a look at the Hyundai Santa Fe Ultimate Calligraphy, which is the top-of-the-line version of the Hyundai version of this car. So we can see yesterday's video for that, and today we'll take a look at this. So here's how this works. If you're not live with us and you just want to see the content of this video, feel free to skip ahead to the 3-minute mark, and that'll be where we start with the content. In the meantime, we're going to let our live audience build. We're going to talk some news and notes, a lot of stuff going on right now. So we'll talk about some of that before the 3-minute mark, and we'll keep going from there. So let me just show you how to join us really quickly. If you want to join us, go to our YouTube page. That's what we look like. You're going to refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock, and that video down there is replaced with this live video. If you don't see a live video, we're not live. Click on that, and you'll have to watch an ad. That's an ad for another dealer. It's nice of them to pay us, I suppose, for advertising on the channel. We're going to skip that ad. If you want to buy a car in Ontario, and you want someone who's going to treat you like family, and somebody who's going to treat you the way they would treat me, then connect with the 3 dealers that support this channel. You can do that by, when this video is done, we'll have a link in the description, and that'll be how you connect with us. And they are Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai, 3 dealers that support us. All right, the reason I kind of skipped up that ad is I want to get to the news. I posted a video an hour or two ago, a couple hours ago, an hour and a half ago, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. 8-inch screens in many of our cars have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The 10.25-inch screens do not. We were wondering if there would be a software update. At one point, there was a rumor that there would be. Turns out, that's not going to happen. So we did a video about that. You go check out that video if you want to see. You'll see it on our channel there when you go check it out. Yeah, I don't have a ton of context yet, but I'm finding it out, and I made you guys a promise that as soon as I found out, I would let you guys know, and that's what I did. So go easy on me in the comments. I don't make these decisions, but we'll obviously dig into stuff. And if you have questions that you're going to dig into with the Kia Hyundai world, just you can ask me. And of course, I'm always asking questions myself. Let's figure out stuff for you. What else is going on? I'm going to make an announcement sometime soon. We got some exciting stuff coming up for next Monday, so I'll talk about that maybe today, maybe earlier. So yeah, so we'll talk about that. And what else we got? 20 seconds to go. Going to the LA Auto Show very soon. That's next week. We're going to find out all the stuff we don't know about the cars that we haven't seen yet. Currently, there's Kia Canada dealer meetings on right now, so I'm pretty sure that my boss and my general manager of this store, the two of them are probably looking at the Kia EV6 right now, probably looking at the Sportage right now. That's just my guess, the Canadian pre-production version. So that's what's going on right now. All right, we already hit the 3-minute mark, so we got to make sure we honor our commitment to those who skipped ahead to the 3-minute mark. Here we go. Kia Sorento SX PHEV. Let's dig into that. We'll talk about the off-topic stuff closer to the 30-minute mark of this video. So if you're tuning in for the very first time, grab yourself a beverage, grab yourself a snack. We're going to be here a bit. We're going to spend about 30 minutes going over the details of this car, showing you stuff that other videos don't show you. And after that 30-minute mark, if we're still on, which we will be, we'll be going over questions or answering some of the off-topic questions as well. So a lot to go over here. Let's just start really quick with the key fob so I can throw it in my pocket. You guys have seen this a whole bunch of times, but maybe if you haven't tuned in for a while, this is the new key fob. You've got a remote start on the side, even on the PHEV models. Used to be on the Eco models. They didn't put a remote start on there. You do have that now. And of course, the power tailgate, locks, all those kind of things. There's your key fob. It can go in my pocket, and I won't need to pull it out for the rest of the video, so that's where it will stay. All right, first thing I want to talk about is a lot of people have asked, a lot of people have bought this based on the gasoline model. It's the only one they could see. So there are some differences. We're going to try to cover as many as I can through this video. There's some obvious differences in the appearance. Obviously, you can tell by the wheels. These are the PHEV wheels, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about with a PHEV, feel free to ask me in the comments and we'll go into detail. I will get to that a little bit later in this video. But if you see the regular SX, they are black wheels. These ones are not black. They look like they look like. The wheels are a little bit smaller as well. I believe there was 19 inches on the SX. These ones appear to be, oh, maybe I'm lying to you guys. Where is the sizing on this tire? Of course, I can't find what I need to. Oh, they are 19. So they are 19-inch wheels. They just looked a little smaller to me. 19-inch, not 20s. I had 20s yesterday on the Santa Fe. So you've got the wheels that are different. The biggest thing that strikes me is when you look at the front of an SX Sorento, there's the new logo, that's new for 2022. And when you look at the front of the SX, you see this piano black trim and this design style. You've got the bumpers like that. But you also, on the gasoline model, in addition to the black wheels, you had the piano black sort of matching details here. Now this is it's hard to show the texture, but this is, oh, there you can see the texture on the top there. A little bit of a textured plastic here. So the regular SX model had the piano black around here, piano black down here, piano black over there. And then again, same thing here. You've got some piano black right here, which is the same as the regular SX, but down here is that more textured plastic, which is really hard to show you in person. But again, more textured plastic instead of the piano black. So visually, it is quite a bit different when you get into the details. Again, less piano black. Some of you like that there's less piano black. Some of you have said, I don't want that piano black. Some of you who have said they like that. So you do have a different look to the PHEV, but you still have a lot of the same options. And in some cases, you have more. Let's just show you one more option that you get in this vehicle. There's the interior, by the way. This is blue with taupe. So we'll talk about that in just a second here. Over here, this is what I want to show you. Ambient lighting. In Canada, we have not had ambient lighting in our SX Sorento. On the PHEV, you do. So let's talk about the differences. Why is it different? My guess, they're not made in the same factory. This PHEV is made in Korea. The normal Sorentos that we get here in Canada are made in the US. So being made in a different factory, a little bit different supply chain possibly, a little bit different the way that goes. So somebody says, hope there's an option for interior colors. There we go. So this one is the blue and taupe option. I call it blue and white, but I've been corrected. I do want to ask you guys to forgive me. This car is not clean. The truck driver who drove them in probably had a little bit dirty hands. We've had it, a couple people touch it, so bear with me. I don't think this is going to get nearly as dirty as it's going to look like it's going to get dirty, because I know people are concerned about lighter interiors getting dirty. That's just my fault. All right, so let's talk briefly about what we see here. So blue interior. And just so you can see it, okay, one thing I really want to quickly say though, whenever there's a color on video, you're relying on this camera picking it up the same way your eye would, and that's not the case. The camera can sometimes change it a little bit, as well as the screen you're watching it on. So again, somebody says image is blurry. Well, the app for YouTube, when we do live videos, only films at 720p. So it's not going to be as clear as the highest resolution videos we could make. We'll do that again in the future sometime. But again, if you like a blue and light interior in theory, I think this is a non-offensive blue. It certainly, when I look right here, looks brighter. That doesn't, look at my hand. It doesn't film correctly either. So it looks a little brighter in real life than it would in person. It's kind of a handsome blue, but again, you have to like the blue, you have to like the lighter interior. The steering wheel is two-tone as well. I don't think we've seen that very often, maybe with the burgundy interior on the Sorento. So really quickly, the best seats in the business right here, the best seats that we sell. You've got this extension piece right here, so you can bring that out, and now you bring it all the way in. Doesn't look like it's moving a whole lot, but it really does move quite a bit to lengthen and shorten there, which is kind of nice. And then you also have the powered seats with the four-way lumbar. Not everything has a four-way lumbar in our lineup, so nice addition there. Jumping in here, I did something that's controversial when you film a PHEV. Let's just see if we can turn it all the way on. All right, so let's turn the climate system off for a minute. The controversial thing I did is I left it uncharged. And the reason I did that is because normally I take the vehicle and I run it in the sort of the on mode, but I didn't start the engine when it's a gasoline engine vehicle. In this one, I did fully start it. Even though there's no electric range, you can see that this is running on pure EV power. So there's the EV symbol right there. And that may change throughout this video because, again, there is no electric power, but there you go. It's just started up right now, so we're going to turn that off again. The reason I want to show you some of these things, we're just going to go back to the on position because I don't want it to be running while we're inside. The reason I want to show you some of these things is because even when our PHEV battery is empty, which this is your battery gauge, just like your fuel gauge, it's never actually empty. So you can see in this same shot, 0 kilometers of electric range. However, you do have some battery left, and that is a really key piece to our hybrids. A lot of plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, once you run them out of the pure electric range, they call themselves a hybrid, but the efficiency at that point is less efficiency than you would get if you just didn't have the hybrid system altogether. So essentially what you do is when you run out of electric range on some competitors' hybrids, you're just having a vehicle pulling around extra batteries and extra motors, and the efficiency is worse than it would be had you just not put those batteries and motors in there altogether. Jeep, I'm looking at you. Jeep Wrangler 4xe, that's how it works. It's the least efficient Jeep you can get is the 4xe if you're looking at post, like if you don't plug that vehicle in. So that's an important thing. Our vehicles, when they run in hybrid mode, are set up and they actually still have plenty of hybrid left after. So ignore that 10 liters per 100 kilometers. What you actually get when you've run out of range is in the 7.1 or 2 range liters per 100 kilometers. So that's pretty good. It's 20-30% better than you would get on just the regular 4-cylinder PHEV. And actually, I think it's even better than that. But the point is, you're saving a ton of fuel even if you don't ever plug this in. If you plug it in, you save all kinds of fuel. So that's good to know. But yeah, you still have that EV range, and that's why I can start this all up. And somebody said to me on the comment section, they were very insulting towards me, but I'll use their comment anyways, that this should have 150 kilometers of range. Otherwise, it's no good. I disagreed with him. Because I often do disagree with people online, especially in the comment section. And the reason I think it's important is, keep in mind, when the batteries get bigger and heavier, you lose that efficiency benefit. So these batteries are big enough to still give you great hybrid fuel efficiency when they're fully depleted, but they're small enough they're small enough to do that, but they're big enough to give you good electric range. So that's a balance that people have to do. 51 or so kilometers of pure electric range when it's fully charged. And we can talk about that later. A lot of things going on in the dash here that I kind of like. If we start the car up again, let's just do that. And we signal to the left here, which I'm going to do in just 1 second. Signaling left. You do have the blind view monitor there, or blind spot camera. So it gives you a live video feed of your blind spot. And I really quite like that a lot. It is a nice safety feature to have. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. But you always have the blind spot detection right there. So you saw that little orange symbol there. That'll detect stuff. But having the ability to see your blind spot here in the dash, I think is just a feature that makes so much sense. And that works in conjunction with, when we go over here, that won't work until I turn the vehicle on. Let's just do that for a second again. Keep turning it on or off because I don't want to run the gasoline engine when we are out of charge here. When I go into reverse here, you will see that the backup camera is there, and you can see if I turn the wheel, it'll tell me where the front is going to swing around. You can see sort of where I'm going. You line this up with the parking spot to get square in the spot. Now let's go to drive. Go to drive, and it switches to the front camera, and it shows you where the rear end will swing. So that is a super, super helpful system to have. And this camera system, again, on these cameras that look down here, the software is repurposed to look in the blind spot over here when we, let me just put it in park for a second here and we'll turn it off again. I had that engine starting because it's thinking, hey, I got to run the engine, I'm doing my thing. But what's cool about those cameras is they look down from that top view model, and then they can also be software programmed to look behind you in the system, in the mirrors there. So it's kind of a cool thing to have in that system. Coming down here, let's just take a look. Hybrid specific stuff. Keep in mind, I've still got a lot of plastic on here. So if this looks like it's cheaply finished, it is. It's because it's got shipping plastic on top, and I could try to peel it off. Oh, there we go. There we go. So again, some of this stuff, again, this car has just not been prepped. It is going out tomorrow, so I want to make sure I got it on video today. Your climate system here, you do have a dual zone climate control system, and then you also have the ability to go driver only mode. That can save that gasoline engine from coming on sometimes. A little different in the hybrids compared to the EVs. In the electric vehicles, I recommend you don't use this. It doesn't save you enough range. However, this can save you some gasoline engine use, which is kind of helpful. So dual zone climate control with a rear air conditioner, same thing as you would have in the gasoline model. Looking down a little further here, nice piano black here. We can pop that open. It's a very soft, quiet open. And you've got a lot going on down here that I really like. Down here, it's hard to see. You do have a wireless charge pad down there. It is a ventilated one, which means it charges a little quicker than the older ones used to, and it keeps your phone a little cooler. 3 USB ports. This light in here will tell you when your wireless phone is charging, or your phone is wirelessly charging. Heated seats right there, rump roasters as I like to call them. Ventilated seats right here, and you can turn them off by doing that or by holding that button down. The gear shift is different than the gasoline model as well. This is how they're doing everything pretty much electric now. So press to park, rotate it for reverse neutral drive. I quite like this gear shifter. It's something I have in my EV right now. and the EV that I personally own, and it works very well. Down here, your drive modes, you still have something. Again, this is different than the Americans get. Eco, Sport, and Smart. Some of you are wondering, hey, can I charge that engine while the gas without plugging in? If you go in the Sport mode, that is a possibility. It's not something I recommend, certainly not for efficiency, but if you just wanted to put a little bit in, the Sport mode can bring some charge to there as well. So, switching over to terrain modes, this is where the Americans get a little jealous. We have a snow mode, but you have a snow drive mode, but you don't have a mud or a sand mode. So if you are going a little bit further off the road, further onto questionable surfaces, you do have some advantages there with the ability to do some of these terrain modes in addition to your drive modes. So I quite like that. Down here, lots of things. Heated steering wheel, which I really quite like. Big advantage there. Electronic parking brake, hill descent control, the auto hold button, parking sensors front and rear. There's your camera button, and the EV/HEV button. This is an important button to keep in mind. So most of you know, and maybe you don't, but I'm assuming some people know what a PHEV is. If you don't, forgive me, we'll cover that a little bit later. A PHEV plugs into the wall, gives you some electric charge. In this case, it gives you about 51 kilometers of rated range. So that's pretty reliably 51 kilometers from what I've seen so far. If you get that 51 kilometers and you say, I don't want to use it now, I want to use it when I drive somewhere and use it an hour from now, you can just hit that HEV/EV button. That will allow you to save that range until later. So basically you can drive as a hybrid vehicle, 7.2-ish liters per 100 kilometers the whole way. And then when you get wherever you're going, let's say you're going downtown Toronto, or maybe you're going to a campground, or maybe you just want to show off when you show up your in-laws' place and show the car running on pure electric. You can save that pure electric range for when you get there. So you don't have to use it first, you can use it later as well. Somebody is writing in a different language. It looks like Arabic-ish. I often respond to the comments in different languages by Google translating. So I don't understand your language. If I have responded in the past, I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're saying. So if you have the ability to write in English, I will do my best to answer to you. And when we go live, that's all I got. So yeah, the person who's writing me right now in the different language, I don't know how to speak that language. I just don't know how to Google translate after the fact. So that's how I do that. Again, over here you can see some of that ambient lighting. You can change the colors there as well. Let's just take a quick look in the software here before we go back out and take a few other things. A lot of things going on. Passenger talk here. So again, this, just like the vehicle we saw yesterday, passenger talk allows my voice to be sent to the rear microphones, rear speakers to the microphone, so I can speak to the rear passengers. There is a 3-row SUV here, so that's kind of cool. And you do have the new ability now. When you used to have 1/3 taken up, you had this 2/3 taken up by other things. So you can see I got 13% battery life there, but you can use this section to scroll through various things depending on what you want. So we'll leave it on the maps for now when it is 2/3, 1/3. Maps, of course, you've got a GPS in this system as well. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay is wired. Quiet mode is kind of a cool mode. We've shown that in the past here too, if I can hit it. I gotta stop looking through the camera to hit things. I don't line my finger up quite right. Anyways, quiet mode turns the speakers off in the back so the people out front can listen to their music, and the people out back can have no music, so they can listen to the music in their earbuds or whatever they want to do. So lots of features in here. Let's just show one other fun feature here. We'll go to the setup feature. We'll go to the vehicle feature. Again, I'm looking through the camera instead of looking at the screen. This is not a good way to do things. Let's go down to the seating mode here. So rear seat heating control. If I'm going to pick some people up and it's cool outside and I want to turn on the rear seat heaters, I can do that. I can just do that right there. Or if you got someone in the back who can't find the button in the dark, even though it's well lit and should be easy to find, you can just turn their seat heater on or off for them. So a lot of things that can be done through the screen that I really like. We haven't even talked about what used to be called Uvo Intelligence, which will now be called Kia Connect, which is a cell phone app that can remote do all kinds of things. I really like it on something like a PHEV or an EV because you can monitor your state of charge from your phone. You can program a whole bunch of stuff. So again, more to talk about there. That's why you tune into these videos. I really, even though I spend a half an hour on these vehicles, I just touch on a whole bunch of stuff. You can see the panoramic roof above me. One thing you can't see is these little lights, which I like a lot. If you just want the individual light turned on, you just touch the glass like I did, and you can turn it back off. So it's pretty cool. They're easy to turn on and off. Or if you want them all on, you do have the ability to turn the button on. So there we go. All right. I don't know how we're talking about carbs right now. Somebody went off topic. All right, here's the deal, guys. We've got about 70 plus people on. I'm going to go take your questions right now. We're way low on likes right now. We should be higher than that. let's aim. I want to get to 80 likes. Is that even reasonable? So do me a favor, guys, hit the like button if you can. And there we go. For a place like Winnipeg and getting the extreme cold, do you suggest getting the panoramic roof option? I wouldn't suggest opening the panoramic roof in the middle of the winter in Winnipeg, but absolutely you can, it'll work out there. It's not a big issue there. All right, do me a favor, guys. I don't know what's going on in the comments section because there's somebody talking about bread and carbs and stuff. So all I know is I hope you get a like from you guys. And we'll keep going. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to show you the middle row seat, the third row seat. We're going to show you some trunk space, and I'm going to go show you some lighting. We'll talk about what a PHEV it is. All that's coming up in the next 10 minutes, so stay with us for a second here. Lead time, that's a good question. Lead time's not terrible, and I know this sounds crazy, but right now, I think we're seeing what I've seen with the early ones coming in. It seems like it's about a couple months or so. So just, yeah, a couple months of lead time, 2.5 months, I think, tops for some of these, which at this point isn't too bad. It almost seems like we're getting these from Korea more than we're getting things from the States as far as availability right now. And I don't know if that's just because there's less of them and we're able to order a bunch. We've ordered at this dealership quite a bit here at Brantford Kia, so it hasn't been a problem. So there we go. Whoa, there's a lithium battery in this car anyways. Yes, there is a lithium battery, lithium polymer, I believe, if I remember correctly, lithium polymer battery, so I think so. Okay. All right, so yeah, you guys are having the same situation I have. You don't know each other in real life. We all have a little community here, and we're asking questions here. All right, where are we? Is the heated steering wheel whole steering wheel or only 10 and 2? Oh, no, it's the full circle. So not the center, but the full circle is heated. It works very well. So a big fan of that. So that was a good question. I haven't, I know some other cars, they're just certain sections, and it's not as nice. So there we go. All right. I'm going to skip through the bread and carb questions. I have no idea what went on there, so I'm just going to assume there's no actual questions in there. Somebody says, good question, Albert. Are the windows on the door double pane or single? The doors are single pane, but I believe on the SX they are a thicker sound reducing. Oh boy, on one of the trim levels, two of the trim levels, I haven't checked the specs, but generally speaking, the top line Sorento versus the bottom line Sorento, there's a break point where the windshield in the front is a sound reducing windshield. So that would be on this model, the sound reducing windshield. Where it comes in, I haven't checked the specs yet, but generally speaking, the lower trim level has a little thinner or a little bit less sound reducing windshield than these ones. They're not dual pane, but they might be sound reducing out front. So there we go. Somebody's not happy with Kia in the United Kingdom. I skimmed through that one. I apologize if that's an actual question. SX and SX PHEV specs for both aside from the batteries are all the same. Sort of. Like I said, so the specs on these things are different. The real difference is the power and torque numbers are different on the PHEV. The other difference is the ambient lighting inside, the gear shift lever. So you've got some differences inside. I'm going to show you the rear seats or the middle row seats in a second. The floor is a little higher. So there are a number of differences, but generally speaking, they try to copy the specs. That doesn't mean it's an identical vehicle. So if you look at a gasoline vehicle, it's not exactly the same. And I'm doing my best to show you what we've got here on that. Just got a 2022 Soul X-Line. How do you use the app on your phone to use the remote start? If you are not from Canada, which it sounds like you're not, you have an X-Line, it's best to ask your American dealer. I deal with the Canadian app, and that app specifically was launched in Canada before the United States. So that app that I'm talking about was called Uvo Intelligence Canada. In Canada, it's now called Kia Connect. And I don't want to coach you on how to use your American app because I've never actually set that up myself because we deal with Canadian cars here. So just double check with your dealer and see, make sure it's not any different. All right, a couple little things I just liked that I almost forget to mention every time. These doors wrap around, and that really makes a difference, front and rear, because when you're getting out of the car, you can see there's actually plastic in there, shipping plastic in there that still has to come off. But that whole section stays clean. That's a rubber seal on the bottom right there, and that stays clean. So when you get out of the car, your pant legs won't get dirty there. Again, anything you see that looks like it's poorly done, it's because there's shipping plastic on there. There's a lot of plastic on this car. We haven't finished finishing it up yet. Jumping back here, oh, there's shipping plastic all over there as well. So we're gonna see a lot of stuff that isn't quite ready yet. I was a little busy this morning. I wasn't able to get to this myself, and to be fair, somebody else went through the car and I thought they got it all, but obviously they didn't. All right, so captain's chairs in here. We talked about this yesterday with the Santa Fe. Doesn't have captain's chairs in the Santa Fe. This armrest, I just put it down. It goes too far, but it's going to ratchet up. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. Click, 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 click. Now it's pretty much level. And of course, that's useful because when I tilt the chair back, which I can do right now, all the way back, I may want the armrest to be a little bit lower, and it would be perfectly positioned where it was in the first spot. So we're just going to put it back up to there where it's comfortable. Now, I know that the floor is a little bit higher in this PHEV model than on the gasoline model, and that can be reflected when my legs are off the seat, but you can see my legs aren't really off the seat. They are like this, but I'm still quite comfortable back here. But the floor is just a little bit higher because there are batteries underneath these this floor, so they raise it up a little bit just to get a little bit of space there. You can see the panoramic roof is perfect in front of me, above me, it works really well. And then let's take a look around here. Again, apologize for what looks like poor quality. You do have the heated seat right there, heated seat buttons there. Bose audio in this car. You have the double pocket system. So you've got this pocket here, and then you have this extra pocket down there, and that is in both seats on this car. You have a USB port on the back side of the seats. This is just shipping plastic there, so we'll take that off as well. So both driver and passenger seats have that USB port in the seat. You've got vents for your middle row passengers. You've got a 12 volt, 115 volt, and a USB port plugged down there. Again, shipping plastic down here. We can take that off later. And then the double pocket on this side as well. So really big difference. A lot of time they don't put that double pocket on both sides. I don't know why. They do here in the Sorento. The middle row seat in the Sorento is fantastic. You've got the cup holders in the door here, so you can see cup holders out there in front. And then that's because there is no center armrest in the center seat, because there's no center seat. And then, of course, you've got this here, which is the opposite of the Hyundai. You come in on the windshield and plug out, whereas this one on the Hyundai, you go in and plug in. Point is, this camera really adapts to this, but this does give you some extra shade, and that's quite nice. Actually, you can kind of see the difference there. See the mount? Oh, no, the camera still adapts to it. It is a little darker in real life than in person. So, there we go. All right, Albert's encouraging you to keep hitting the like button. Yeah, I think, let's say we should be able to go for 75 or 80 likes. So, we're only at 57. So, let's see if we get to 80 likes by the time we're done with this. And what that does, of course, it helps the channel. That helps. But if people like you, if you like this, people like you will find out about it. They'll watch it. The more people watch it, the more my bosses see. We got to have more videos on this, and that's how we do it. Okay, so we're going to flip around over here. Now, lots of ways to open the trunk here. One way I could open it was I could set up the smart tailgate. The key fob itself, if it senses that it's near that car, you can walk closer. The LED lights will blink 3 times or 5 times in 3 seconds, and the tailgate can open. I didn't set that up today, so what we could do is hit the button underneath the E on the Sorento right there, or we're just going to do it the fun way and hold the key fob button right now, which it won't do because I left the car on. Fun fact, if your car's on, you can't remote open the trunk, which probably makes sense. You can't open it as you're driving away. Let's turn the car off. I didn't mention memory seats. I should probably mention that. The Americans don't always have memory seats on the SX model. We do have it here on our SX and our SX PHEV. Let's try this again. Holding that button down, you can see the LED lights are blinking. Those are your signal lights. Brake lights are outside. And got a lot going on right here. Oh, it looks like, okay, so the owners of this car were here yesterday, and it's possible that they were going through the owner's manual, or we didn't put it away yet. I don't think I'm going to climb the third row today, guys. I do fit back there, though, and that's worth noting. Here's the charger that comes with the car. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Owner's manual's there, rear seats, rear air conditioning up here. Place to put a little tablet or phone or wallet or whatever you need. Cup holders there as well, and you can fold down the seats, and a 12-volt port back there. And, of course, the USB port as well. USB port is on both sides. So you don't have the controllers for the rear air conditioning on this side, just the vent, but you do have that. Even with the subwoofer back here, it's kind of set in. So lots going on back here. Underneath the floor, there's a whole lot of nothing. Just a little jack there. You do have a spare tire on this car. In the past, we didn't have spare tires in some of the 2021 Sorentos. You do have them on all the 2022s. I'm going to take my teddy bear right here. Teddy bear is my trunk measurement tool. Obviously, there's a lot of junk in the trunk already. We're going to put teddy bear just like that. And you can see he's got as much space as he would in the gasoline model. I can't see any real difference in this above the floor at all. It's a 2 teddy bear trunk easily, so lots of space there for the teddy bear. Gonna take this out here and put it back there. And we're gonna, one thing I really like that I think they do right, we didn't see this on the Santa Fe yesterday, you have the trunk closing. So what we used to do, remember that key fob, you never have to pull it out of your pocket or purse. If you'd never pulled out your pocket or purse, you used to have to shut the trunk here. And then if you wanted to lock the car, you had to walk over to the driver's door, you had to hit this button there, and then it would be locked. What's kind of cool now is instead of having to do that, I can just hit this lock button right here, and that will close the vehicle, and as soon as it's shut, the whole vehicle will lock. You can see the mirrors folded in right there. So they fold in, the lights blink, it's locked. So it's kind of a nice feature to have there. I am gonna unlock it now, and I'm gonna just open the door, because if you don't open the door after you unlock it, within 30 seconds, then the car will relock itself. I should point out here, the paint on here is a nice, I don't know if you can see it there. There's a light here, which you can see on my finger, and it is shining on the paint. Remember, our LED lights in our studio, they really kill the paint, but this is a nice pearl finish, metallic type paint. I can't remember, I think it's called a Snow White Pearl, but I haven't double checked to make sure. Maybe it's a Glacier, I can't remember. So really nice paint color, good trunk size. Let's just take a look at the lighting, and then we'll wrap up this video. We're at 68 likes, so you guys are coming through for me on the like side of things. I think we were going for 80 though, so let's see if we can get 12 more likes. So what we're gonna do is turn the headlights and the fog lights on. And you know what? Let's just, for fun, turn on the, let's just turn on one signal. There we go, just one signal. That'll show you the LED in here. But what I like is, again, every Sorento has LED lights. This one has the upgraded top of the line LED lights. They look a little different here. There are 3 individual sort of circles right there. And the reason I put one signal on and not the other is if you look over here, your daytime running light is white. It is a white, it's gonna look like it's flickering here just the way it interacts with the camera. It's not flickering in real life. But the normal Sorento, the lowest trim line, has an amber signal up there. This one, you have the white daytime running light that will turn into a signal light if you turn the signal on. Now again, it's much more amber in person than it is here in real life. It kind of, camera compensates a little bit. But those headlights, when I said they're upgraded, really sharp cutoff, and you've got the fog lights down low, which you can see the separate line down low. Not everything has fog lights anymore. With these LED headlights, they're kind of moving away from putting fog lights and everything, but you've got those LED fog lights down low. Those little circles right there, that's the parking sensors when you park. So in addition to that 360 camera, you also have parking sensors that can warn you. All kinds of stuff going on here. Safety equipment, you've got forward collision avoidance, lane keep, lane follow assist. You've got the smart cruise control. You've got the blind spot camera as well as the blind spot warning. You've got rear collision avoidance. You've got rear cross traffic alert. There's so many things. Junction collision avoidance. So if you're turning in front of me and you're looking where you're turning and I decide I'm going to run the red light, your car is capable of stopping on its own, seeing me running the red light. There's so many safety features on this car. It's actually literally too many to mention. So there we go. That's the basics of this car. We can cover, let me just explain really quickly what a PHEV is, because I told you guys I would do that. A PHEV is a vehicle that is a hybrid vehicle. Hybrid vehicles never need to be plugged in. What a hybrid vehicle does is it blends gasoline engine with electric motors, and it uses those electric motors and battery to assist you whenever it can. On a regular hybrid, it just charges on its own. So it's the gasoline running will charge the battery, braking will charge the battery. There's a number of ways the battery's charged, but generally speaking, just braking and the gasoline running, as well as coasting, that's how you charge the battery in a regular hybrid vehicle. A plug-in hybrid steps it up a little bit and adds exactly that, plugged in energy. You're gonna plug the car in every night or whenever you can park it, whenever you can, and you're going to get, in this case, 51 kilometers of pure electric range. Now, realistically, in a PHEV, you're not gonna get it to stay in pure electric in the coldest of winter days. But 3 seasons of the year, for the most part, you can keep that in electric range. It'll run on purely electric. And that, of course, that 51 kilometers means that if you go for a 100-kilometer drive, at least half of that is done on electricity. The second half is done on a hybrid, which is getting you like 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers, and you come home and you average, what, 3.5, 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers in a 3-row SUV. That's pretty impressive. And like I said, even if you run out of that electric range, you do that, but you can keep plugging it in. I had somebody reach out to me and they've put their first tank of gas in after owning this vehicle for a couple months in other areas of the world. So, you know, they just drive almost entirely on electric. So there's really good benefit for a PHEV. The other benefit of a PHEV is you are eligible in Canada for a government rebate. So you get a $2,500 government rebate. Just so you know, this is where the gas door is. Obviously, we know how that works. The only difference on the Sorento is your electric door is on the opposite side. And we'll see if it's unlocked for me. Yes, it is. There we go. So you're just going to plug in your little level 2 charger, level 1 charger in there. And you have all the indicator lights you need right here. That one's amber right now. And that will tell you, I think it goes green. Bear with me, I have not charged this vehicle myself yet that I remember. I probably have, but I don't remember. There's a lot of vehicles in my head. So the color of that light, I'll have to double check with you. But that's the basics of how a PHEV works. It's a really, really good option for the ability to get great fuel efficiency with zero range anxiety. You drive this like you drive a regular car. If you can't plug it in, oh well, you're just gonna get great mileage. When you can plug it in, you're gonna get phenomenal mileage. So there we go. Okay, so let me flip back here. I've got some people writing in. I'm gonna do my best to answer your questions right now. Let me just get to that. All right. Okay, somebody's had their PHEV for 1,300 kilometers. Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna read this comment. Hopefully it's good. I don't skim these sometimes. I've had my PHEV SX for 1,300 kilometers now, about a month, and I'm still on the first table of gas. So I think first tank of gas is what he was saying there. And however, the more heat you use, the more time the engine is running, a heat pump would have been great. So let's talk about why they don't put the heat pump in here. If you are in the winter, to get full power out of this car, you have to use the gasoline engine and the electric motor. So if you're getting on the highway and you're running on pure electric, and it's the middle of the winter, and all of a sudden you have to give it a lot of gas to get ahead of that transport truck, you're going to have to use the gasoline engine. So in the winter, they want that engine to run. So we all have to get out of our head. If you buy a PHEV, you're not buying a full electric vehicle. There are times to take care of itself, to take care of its maintenance, to take care of you, it needs that gasoline engine to run. So in the winter, especially when the engine gets too cold, you don't want it starting up and revving at full throttle or revving at a lot. So it's going to run that gasoline engine more. So if you are too cold, then the engine will be too cold to run at perfect temperature. So it will turn itself on a little bit. And in the winter, you're gonna have to pay attention to your fuel efficiency numbers more so than if the gasoline engine runs or not. If you want a full EV, you need to buy a full EV. If you don't buy a full EV, then a PHEV is gonna run that gasoline engine in the cold weather, and that is designed. It is designed to do that. So that's the way it works. So there we go. Would seat heating activate the heat pump? No. So seat heating, that's what I recommend to most people. You turn that temperature down. If you really want to like hypermile, you can play games with it. You can turn your heat down a little bit, turn the fan down on the heat a little bit. That can keep the gasoline engine from running. And if you use your seat heaters and your steering wheel heater, you can get quite warm. And of course, the middle row seats and the front row seats have seat heating. So again, that's if you want to hypermile and get the absolute best mileage out of it. But there is a little bit of a misconception that sometimes people are disappointed that the gasoline engine will run in the winter. You want that to happen. You don't want to have engine issues by having it, do things in the winter that it shouldn't do. So there we go. That's the basics there. We got to 82 likes, guys. We're 96 people on, so if you still have a like that you feel like you have to give, I'm cool with that. We'll do that. Just going to run through here, see if I can find any more questions here. Pop the hood. Sure, let's do that. You also didn't answer, unless I missed it, are the windows double pane? No, I don't think they're double pane, but they might be sound insulated. So that's what I covered there. Let me just pop the hood because you guys did want to see that. 1.6 liter turbo engine. I believe it has a towing capacity of 2,000 pounds, which is not nothing for what you're getting here. I think I'm gonna need two hands. No, there we go. Sorry about that, I thought I was looking the other way. So there is the engine, 1.6 liter hybrid, so PHEV, Smart Stream engine is what they call it. And the engine is on this side, everything with the orange cables, yeah. That has to do with your electric motor, so that's all paired together there. How does it work exactly? I'm not the guy to tell you that. I don't fix these things. I just tell you how it works in theory. So again, electric motors, gasoline engine paired together. And the one difference is, people ask me all the time, and I forget to say it on the video, is the all-wheel drive system electric only in the rear? No, there's a drive shaft down the center. It is our excellent all-wheel drive system, the same system there. So there we go. So you guys are doing dollars per charge there. I'm going to leave that to people other than me as well. Can you show what it looks like between the captain's chairs? Is that a good spot for a dog? Yeah, that's a good point. Let me just do that. Oops, that was a little harder than I wanted to. I have to apologize to the people who I know who are buying this car. I slammed your hood harder than I would have liked to. It's fine. Okay, between the captain's chairs, oops, looking the wrong way here. Between the captain's chairs right there, if you have a poodle, a Shih Tzu, or maybe a little small boxer, yeah, great spot. My parents have a 10-pound poodle. You could fit 2 of them, 3 of them wide, probably in there, no problem. A larger dog, a Labrador, it would be able to lay there, but it would be touching both sides. Great Danes are in the back only, and St. Bernards aren't going to be comfortable in there. How's that? That's my dog review. I hope you don't ask me to do dog reviews in the future. That's probably not my strong point. Love dogs, slightly allergic to them, really good with poodles, but I apologize if I've mislabeled your dog. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to leave it right there, guys. I think we've gone far enough, 38 minutes. If you want to see more of these, obviously give us a like. We're at 89 likes. Let's see if we can hit 90 or 100. We've got 111 people on right now. I think I've answered everything I can for today. Tomorrow we're back. I haven't decided what we're doing tomorrow from Hyundai. I do have a surprise for Monday, which I will announce tomorrow. So maybe it'll be Friday we do the surprise, but Friday or Monday we'll have a surprise for you. We'll start announcing that. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Peter underscore, what is it called again? Kia Hyundai. Just look Kia Hyundai channel. It's got underscores and Peter Kia Hyundai channel. And you'll find me on Instagram. I am going to make some announcements there. Big stuff coming up there. And of course, going to LA Auto Show next week. My boss is in the Kia meetings right now. Lots of stuff going on. So lots of stuff going on. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for making this a fun one. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.